This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com. It is the greatest 4X game ever. You could talk about Twilight Imperium until you're blue in the face. You can talk all day long about whatever it is. But as far as I'm concerned, one of the greatest 4X games, and to me the greatest 4X games, is Space Empires. Well, folks, just recently they are doing a conclusion to the entire series, and that is Space Empires 4X All Good Things. We're going to talk more about this. I'm going to show you some things down on the table here, and then we're going to really come back and, we're going to talk about the greatest 4X game, Space 4X game ever, plain and simple, from one of the best companies in the world. That's GMT. Let's go check it out. So I want to show you what you're getting here, explain and talk about a few things. First of all, you're going to get your AI player aid, which is really going to help you out when you are playing by yourself or against the AI opponent. And this is really, really helpful. And of course, it's beautiful quality. You're going to get more sheets. Of course, you always need production sheets for faculties and so forth and so on. You know, this always was one of the most intimidating parts of Space Empires, was this sheet here. But once you do it once and understand how it works, it is so easy, and it is such an interesting part of Space Empires, is your economic phase and how you're going to earn certain credits and spend certain credits. More sheets here, and then replicator production sheets for that expansion. What's really nice is the card manifest and the space planet attributes, beautifully laid out. Everything is just as perfect as humanly can be. Your competitive scenario book, which is adding and updating all different things. Again, take the time to go through this. Understand the doomsday machines, the war points, all the other things that come into this multiplayer long game victory conditions, all the different things that you want to, to be able to do. And then the updated solo and co-op scenarios. There is a ton, and I mean a ton of stuff in here, and really clarifies things and really upgrades things to really just, when you make the perfect game, you find things to even add to it to even make it better. And Jim Crone, who is a genius, this game just always meant so much to me, because I remember my very first Dice Tower Con, and these guys were there and they were talking about this game, and I couldn't wait to get this and Talon, and I kept on waiting for Talon to come out, and then sure enough that came out. And again, these games, this game has a lot of meaning for me, but also over all this time, over plus 10 years, how much this game has grown and is a cult favorite. It has to be. The Master Rule Book, the latest edition. You're going to get new empires in here, which is just adding to this fantastic game. More space zones as you play. They have your home world and so forth and so on. Logistics, which is now a big thing. More counters, more of the bigger counters. Okay, with again with your CP points for each colony and so forth and so on, and a bunch of player aids, which are just your ship charts. What do you want to build? How do you want to build your empire? Do you want to explore? and build an economic giant, or do you want to be so aggressive and just have this war machines? You're going to get a ton of cards. In here are some more replicator cards for a replicator. Your stands that you're going to need, your scenario cards for all good things, some replicator crew cards, which are always important to have, close encounter alien technologies, and then Empire Advantage cards that are going to come into play, and a whole bunch more crew cards and things like that to just take this and really put a beautiful bow on one of the greatest, if not the greatest, 4X game ever, from the brilliant Jim Cronin. I mean, you have to say he's brilliant to just take this to the level that it is. All good things. Yeah, they sure do come in a big package here from our good friends at GMT Space Empires 4X. Let's talk more about this up top and then get on out of here. You need to go get this. This is about as much of a masterpiece as can be. One of the things that I really love about it is the expanded solo play. Now you can take the expanded solo rules, where you could take any scenario and create your solo rules to it, and I think that's fantastic. More sheets, more updates to each and every expansion. It's all the good things put into one box, and it is the final expansion. It is the farewell to what I consider such a great series and one of my favorite games of all times, which we will be covering Space Empires itself as we implement all the good things into one of my favorite solo missions of all times, which is Doomsday's Machine, which I absolutely love. So yeah, we are going to definitely check this out. But I really think if you are a Space Empires fan, and now that they have I believe it's the 5th edition that just released recently, and all the wonderful things that you can do, make sure you get replicators, make sure you get encounters. This game, for me, it's it doesn't need all the miniatures, it doesn't need all the flash, of a Twilight Imperium, but what it does, it doesn't need anything, because it just does everything perfectly, and all in I mean, this box isn't small, but the regular Space Empires is a bookshelf game, and I have gotten more play out of that than any other game that I own, and it is the best, very easily the greatest 4X game I've ever played. Make sure you check it out. You can head over to Miniature Market. You can get this fantastic game. GMT, who are just knock everything they touch. Okay, some of the best games I've ever played, GMT. Some of the best games I've ever played, GMT. A fantastic company that just keeps on thinking about it, its customers, and just doing everything right with the P500 and everything else that they do. One of my favorite companies making some of my favorite games. Space Empires 4X, all good things. Pick it up at Miniature Market, get it at GMT, get it anywhere you can get it, because it will sell out. I can guarantee that. Until next time, it's your old pal Rob. We'll see you soon, everybody.